coming up on the Relationship Reset podcast. So, Terrence and I, when we got married, we would have a lot of conversations about the dreams that we would have of the things that we wanted to build. And I think that the bills and things like debt and things like checking things off a list can get so much in the way of building that legacy. And what I mean by that is it's not just about buying the house, it's about possibly having the ability to turn that financial purchase into something much bigger, right? Hola amigos, it's Karina, your relationship BFF, and welcome to the Relationship Reset podcast. This is the space where we press pause, tell the truth, and start doing the work to heal what's broken, especially after your partner has stepped out on you. Whether that means cheating, hiding things, or even breaking your trust, every single week I will help you work through the real issues so that you can stop spiraling, get clear on what's next, and finally feel like yourself again in this relationship. And speaking of healing, let me tell you about something that was a total game changer for my own marriage. When I think back to the early years of my marriage, my husband and I were arguing constantly and barely connecting. We needed something radically different for our marriage, and for us, that was therapy. Therapy was the game changer. It helped us uncover that most of our issues had actually nothing to do with each other, but more so with our own unhealed traumas that we hadn't processed. That's why I love BetterHelp. It's the world's largest online therapy service with over 25,000 licensed therapists. You can connect with someone via text, chat, phone, or video, whatever works for you. Plus, if the first therapist isn't the right fit, you can always switch to another one at no extra cost. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Karina F as in Frank Daves. The link is in my show notes. And amigos, don't wait. Support could be the game changer for your relationship too. And now on the Relationship Reset podcast. Amigos, welcome back to the Relationship Reset with me, your host, Karina F. Daves, marriage expert and podcast host of this dope podcast. This episode is going to highlight the top 3 things that I love, don't like, and fear about marriage. As a marriage expert, I think it's important to consistently be very transparent with my clients, my community, through what I've done over the years, which is display many moments, which I call testimonies in our marriage, where things have either worked out or they haven't, what we've done, how we've rebuilt. And then there are also many opportunities where I share what's on my heart. Recently, somebody on my team had mentioned to me that some of the feedback that we were getting from our community was not much, but was that you don't hear a lot of my husband's perspective. You only hear mine. Yeah, that's because it's my page. Sorry. I didn't mean to get all Jersey on you, but it's my page. And sometimes I will share my husband's perspective, but there's a line that I don't cross because this page was to help and support marriages through my lens, right? Through my experiences, through my expertise. It was never meant for him to come on the platform, even 50% of the time. And so I think the most that he's on there is through pictures or through B-roll and things of that nature. But my husband doesn't even like my content. Like, not that he doesn't like it, but I mean, like, he doesn't press the like button. So he's not out there watching me. He doesn't view my stories. None of that. He's never even on Instagram. He's more of a YouTuber. So anyways, I want to get into sharing from my perspective the top 3 things that I love, don't like, and fear about marriage. So we're going to start with the good stuff. I want to share 2 things that I love about marriage. The first is partnership. I was always the kid in school that loved group projects, even if there was like somebody that was a little bit lazy and didn't pull through. Like, none of that stuff ever bothered me. I always viewed teams as an opportunity to build something beautiful. And I really loved group projects. I worked pretty well solo, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I probably talk to myself a lot and I don't mind, just doing research and things of that nature. But partnership is something that I grew to love over time. I just love building as a team. And for me, I just start to envision a lot of the possibilities that more than two people can do. I also think about partnership, in the sense of biblically, it talks about when two or more are gathered. And it just makes me feel like, wow, like when there's more than one of me that has similar values, there is a type of partnership that isn't necessarily there just to aid the loneliness, but is there to aid the part that longs for a partnership, for there to be to somebody else, right? And so for me, I really love marriage because I enjoy being in a partnership. I enjoy not the mechanics so much of marriage, like the daily grind, but more so that there is somebody else that I can lean on. There is a soundboard. There is somebody that is a safe place. There is somebody that I can run ideas through. There is somebody else besides me making the decisions. It feels like the burden is lifted in a partnership. And perhaps I should say, in the right partnership, it won't feel heavy. And I think plenty of times marriages remain so heavy because the burden is placed on one person. And when burden is placed on just one individual, it feels really lonely, not just heavy, but really lonely. And then you start to think, okay, well, we're not intimate anymore. We don't really talk. We're like passing ships in the night. We're just really good at the mechanics of our relationship. Yeah, that's because your partner feels lonely. They feel like everything is on them, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So you got to get your act together. The second thing that I love about marriage is building a legacy. So Terrence and I, when we got married, we would have a lot of conversations about the dreams that we would have of the things that we wanted to build. And I think that the bills and things like debt and things like checking things off a list can get so much in the way of building that legacy. And what I mean by that is it's not just about buying the house, it's about possibly having the ability to turn that financial purchase into something much bigger, right? That either can be passed down or sold and multiplied, or have it be a safe place of fellowship for your children's friends. Like there has to be something other than the substance that you can touch that creates a feeling, that creates a safe place for folks to go to and say, wow, the Daves family did this. I think that building a legacy is much bigger than donating or throwing money at a cause. And Terrence and I are very much the couple that will donate to a cause that we care about and that we feel strongly about. We will see somebody in need and we will, help them out at whatever capacity we can. I'm not saying that that is not important. What I am saying, though, is that building a legacy takes much more work than financially just putting money down. And for us, we've really wanted to build a legacy that our children felt like they could talk to us. That was very important to us because we both felt like, as much as we love our parents, we couldn't talk to them. And then, two, we very much strongly felt about having a legacy that built financial wealth and financial stability. And so we made the conscious decision of saying that we weren't really going to support financially huge weddings. We say we'll support your home, we'll support the daycare. But for us, one of our values is we love going to weddings, by the way. But we just feel like that how do I say this? We just feel like our legacy, our support would be better suited in other areas other than a 4 hour party. And that's one of our personal values, by the way. And that here's the thing. It doesn't mean that we won't give, a couple thousand or things of that nature, but we're not paying for half the wedding. That ain't gonna be us. And then a year later, having to also support for a home. No, 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 no. It's not gonna be us. Hola, amigos. Let's get real for a second. If you're tired of walking on eggshells, tired of feeling like you're doing all of the work in this relationship, or even sick of wondering if your relationship can even survive what happened, it's time to stop spiraling and start healing. In my private one-on-one coaching program, we're not going to sugarcoat, we get deep. I help you break toxic cycles, call out the patterns that keep remaining y'all both stuck, and finally shift the energy in your relationship, but for real this time. So whether you're coming in solo or as a couple, I want you to know that the work starts with you. Hit the link in the show notes to book your consultation call. If you're ready to stop replaying the betrayal and start rewriting the story, then I'm the coach for you. I can't wait to meet you, and I can't wait to work with you. Now, let's get back to the episode. The last thing we think about with building a legacy is a continuation of our faith. One of the first things that we talked about was faith, food, and culture. We're huge foodies. We wanted our kids to make sure that they knew how to eat and had a strong palate. We wanted to make sure that they were exposed to both of our cultures, me being Peruvian and my husband being Black. And then 3 came our faith. And I think that that's probably the one that we've worked and continue to work the hardest at, because when you're teaching faith to children, you're coincidentally also working on your own faith, which is pretty interesting. And so for us, even at nighttime when we pray with our kids, I always pray that when they do stray away, because they will, from God, that they'll always run back to him. And my hope is that my kids and my kids' kids will know how much we prayed for them. That's a legacy in and of itself, and it costs you nothing. It literally costs you no money. Okay, now I want to talk about the things I don't like about marriage. So here are 2 things that people don't talk about when it comes to what they don't like about marriage. Number 1, I do not like all of the insecurities that marriage brings up. Actually, I don't like all of the insecurities that marriages or being married, exposes about myself. Like, I was a very can't nobody tell me nothing independent person before I got married. And after I got married, I became very insecure in the sense of physically and even career driven. Like, I remember just taking a good look at myself and feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling like, dang, we've only been married for a month and all of this could just go right out the window. And, there's always going to be that initial fear of we may not make it. We may lose. You may cheat on me. I may cheat on you. You never know. Like, there's just those, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what is going to occur in the next couple of years. And I think that it wasn't till about the 3rd year that my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, yo, we made a lifetime commitment to one another, like forever. That's scary. Okay. And people don't talk about that. I had to really go through the insecurities about the way that I looked, my body, and whether or not I felt attractive. Like, all of those things, we don't realize how much influences our intimacy, how much it influences how we see our partners, how much it influences the way that we interpret the way our partner talks or treats us. Like, it just is, and I hate it so much. Now, the next thing I want to share with you about what I don't like about marriage is also very much not spoken about. So here goes. If this episode made you pause, take a deep breath, or say, dang, she's talking about us, then good. That means that we're getting somewhere. You see, this podcast is here to help you stop avoiding the hard stuff and actually start healing. So if you're ready for more real talk, go ahead and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at my handle, Karina F as in Frank Daves. And please make sure that you're also subscribed to my newsletter, Release Your Relationship, at karinafdaves.com. Every single week, I will drop straight to the heart tools and truths to help you face what's not working in your relationship so you can finally do something about it. If this episode resonated with you, please feel free to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, hit the subscribe button, and share it with all of your amigos. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, one day at a time. I'll see you next week.